Now, she was sexually abused at a very tender age, a social misfit, expelled from school on several occasions for abusing and peddling drugs at just standard 5.
Tonight, Najma Ismail delves deep inside Kibera slums to bring you the compelling story of a woman who rose from a street girl to a medical doctor.
She never knew that people would one day talk to her with respect. Her exact words, she thought she was written off, one who was beyond repair. But now, 29-year-old Stella Bosire, a successful doctor at the Avenue Hospital, has achieved so much that she looks back at her horrific past with a smile on her face. She takes us through her grim past, which was filled with rebellion and hopelessness. Deep inside Kibera slums in Gatwekera area, Stella Bosire went through it all. From sexual abuse to drug trafficking, this young lady endured it all.
The first time I was sexually abused was by my cousin, the son to my father's sister, at class 4.
The abuse, coming from abject poverty, a missing father, a mother who was constantly sick, and cold, hungry nights. Stella was the perfect target for drug peddlers.
I started initially by ganja tea. Ganja tea is the tea which is made from the leaves of the bang itself, and then I upgraded into smoking the real deal, and then now I even went further to becoming a peddler.
Stella became very aggressive and violent in school. Her teachers noticed a rapid change in her behavior.
I'm like Stella. Yes, Stella was my pupil in Kibera Primary School. Yes, she was very stubborn. She used not to come to school most of the times. She could run away from class. But then she had to leave the Kibera.
A lot of social misfits going on. I had been sexually abused when I was very young. And all these factors compounded together, for me, I had to look for a way out. And my way out was smoking. At class 5, what place are you looking for? Oh, the highness, Najma. The highness is great. Because at that particular point, you do not care about the problems of the world.
After being expelled from Kibera Primary School, Stella and her siblings took to the streets since her mother could not afford to take her to school. Life became unbearable.
And we had to go look for food. And one of the ways we would is kuuliza auntie kunogalia jana tusaidie. Some of these housegirls were kind enough to be able to give us food to eat.
Several months later, Stella's father appeared from nowhere and took her back to school. She was admitted at the Joseph Kangede Primary School, where she still continued abusing drugs and selling it to her fellow students. It was until Standard 8 that she was discovered.
Boys and girls could follow her everywhere, so we wondered why that was happening. Then one time, after having very many problems with her, we decided to find out what was happening to her. And it was quite unfortunate when we discovered that she was actually on drugs and she was selling the drugs to the children.
With the second expulsion, Stella couldn't go back home. She fully embraced the streets. She had given up on everything. She knew there was no way out for her.
I joined a group of girls where we rented a house and we started staying together. And all we did was smoke, drink, and party. There's no partying there. So when you say party, it looks very classy. It was just smoking, drinking, and that was it. And of course, there was issues of also prostitution, which was a lot in the place where we were.
Stella continued with her reckless life, and as the KCP examinations approached, the gang leader where Stella was staying forced her to go back to school and sit her exams.
I respect this lady so much that I do anything for her. She's deep into what we were initially in. It's been very difficult for me to convince her to come out, but I'm not giving up on her. Nancy actually looked at me and told me, unajua KCP watu wanaenda kufanya. You must go and do KCP. And I told her, mimi nikafanya. Nikaambia, look at me. I am, lakini niko na karatasi ya class 8. Wewe utaonyeshana nini?
Due to her drug peddling, Stella sat for her KCP exams in an isolated room guarded by an armed police officer, and when the results came out,
I just stopped there and looked at it and said, what? I actually have gotten 516 over 700. That day we smoked our hearts out, Nancy and I, in jubilation.
word went round that Stella had done well and her father once again came to assist. He paid half the fees for a secondary education at the State House Girls High School.
First it was culture shock. The culture shock of, let's start from the basics. Human needs, food. I'm having breakfast, lunch and supper. I thought this was not real. I mean, you're used to having one meal in a day. That was it. Here you are, you're given loaf. There's even blue band, tons of chroma. Then in promises they have eggs. Dinner they have chapati. I'm like, I think I am in a dream. I need to wake up from this dream.
Stella was lucky enough to get a bursary. KCSE came and went. Stella scored good grades, but she had to put food on her family's table.
I went looking for work, okay, at Mama Brian's. So I got a job as a house girl, and she used to pay me 3,500.
Mama Brian later realized that Stella was a very bright girl. She then organized for a better job for her as a tour guide for an Italian journalist.
And she went and specifically aired out that part of me in the national television of Italy. And people are asking how they would be able to assist me. I told them I do not want even a cent from me. I told her, all these people who want to send me money, if they're sending me any money, I am going to assist these women and their children. Because for me, I have a paper. And this paper, I just want to get to the next step. I want to get to the university. Then she told me about the Rita Levi Montalcini Foundation, a very, very competitive foundation where they educate women in Africa. Told me, do your application. That's why I did my application, and I was taken.
However, being the breadwinner and taking care of her sick mother, she could not leave for Italy.
Fortunately, one of the board members who was sitting in the foundation knew the founders of, the owners of Avenue Healthcare, Professor Nilesh. So they, in a way, they were doing a certain research. They communicated, said, oh, we are bringing a girl in. I said, no, let her apply in the University of Nairobi. You know, even those days, after her fikiri number, university application, nothing.
The professor's wife, Diana Patel, who is the managing director at Avenue Healthcare, and Etta Ligale, the general manager of operations, took Stella under their wings.
I started being exposed to women in positions, women in leadership, women who've made it. I started seeing mentors. These are the people I could not be able to see when I was in the slum. People ghetto, muko confined. The most you see is news on TV, and hata sasa ni nani inalipa na nani akona TV pia, okay? So you do not get that opportunity to be held, to be mentored into the right path or the right profession.
Unfortunately, Stella lost her mother during her final year at the University of Nairobi. It was a difficult time for her, but her mother's death made her thirst of becoming a doctor more. And in 2012, Stella graduated with a Bachelor of Medicine in Surgery. Today, Stella is a doctor and manager with Avenue Healthcare, a mother and a wife. Najma Ismail, KTN.